Welcome into Dash Radio, and I'm honored to actually, we're breaking in this studio, the mic, for the very first time. They just finished up this studio moments ago, like an hour ago. We had to rush to get it done. And I thought it was going to be to interview Wiz Khalifa, but apparently things have changed. And the first person you hear on the mic is none other than Mr. Bash himself. What's up, Bash? How does it feel to be the first guest on Dash Radio? He gave it a kiss. That's the kiss of blessing. Yo, you look so happy, Wiz, man. How are you feeling right now?
I feel good, man. I'm excited. Let me give you to your mommy, okay? I love you.
Shout out to Amber in the building, too. Looking amazing. Now, big day. Blacc Hollywood out.
Yes, sir.
Lots of stuff. Last time I saw you, we were on the couch talking about this project that was coming out this year, and now it is officially upon us.
Yes, it's here. It's out. The artwork, the visuals are amazing. Everything, man. I'm excited.
That's awesome. Now, how are you? A lot of people were kind of taken aback. It's almost more like a mixtape Wiz type album.
Right. Well, I was really comfortable while I was making this, and my intentions were just to go in and do what I'm comfortable doing and usually do, but on that big album scale. Yeah. And I feel like we pulled that off. I
feel like every album you've done has been so different from the other ones. They all kind of like evolve, and people always, at first, they always are like, man, why is Wiz changing? Why is Wiz doing it different? But over time, they realize that it was the right thing to do. How tough is it always kind of changing your style and figuring out what to do? Because you've never stayed still and stayed like the same one-dimensional rapper.
Right. It's tough being criticized for wanting to be better and do bigger things. But at the end of the day, I know my responsibility is to the kids who want to take it there and be bigger and better. So I just, lead by example and encourage them to just stick with what they know.
That's real now. Yeah. Now, what did you say the whole style and sound is? Is it for Blacc Hollywood, for those who haven't heard it?
The whole style and sound for it is really just big records. A lot of people aren't used to somebody who can have mixtape sounds or, deliver lyrically the way that I do, as well as make huge singles and, translate across the world. So I tried to combine the two on Blacc Hollywood.
Yeah. Now, what's the biggest single you've even had today? Still Black and Yellow?
Yeah, my biggest single to date is definitely Blacc Hollywood. I mean, Black and Yellow. Sorry, Sebastian's squirming. It was Black and Yellow, and definitely Young, Wild, and Free.
That's another big one, right?
that's a huge one just because of the influence worldwide,
Yeah. And then now We Dem Boys is just taking over. I remember you performed it. You came through last second, right when you dropped it at South by Southwest at our Respect the West showcase.
Exactly.
And tore it down, and now that record's still, it's a theme song everywhere. You hear it at sports games and all that. Is it taking off like you thought it would? Because I know you guys kind of just threw it out there.
Right,
I remember I told Will, I was like, yo, it's going.
Yeah, it's definitely working out how I thought it would and how I hoped it would, just based off of the energy of the song and what it's different for my career. A lot of people aren't used to me doing a radio single that sounds like that. And it's not even like, I guess it's a radio single because it works at radio, but it's still like one of those records you could play anywhere. It's one of them songs, and it's so weird because I notice it for what it is, but it doesn't matter who would have made that song. I could have been some kid off the corner in Atlanta, and if that was my song, then it would have blown up the exact same way. Yeah. And, that's what music is all about. That's what I was about, at one point. A lot of people didn't know who I was, but they just gravitated towards my music.
Yeah. Now, you're singing a lot more on the album. Is it? Are you like in how was your mindset? You were just in like a super happy place right now because of everything in life being right, it seems?
Yeah, I could say that. And I would say like, just trying to highlight a lot of my strong points and things that I know I've made other artists comfortable about. Yeah. I wanted to really go in and just reclaim my identity as far as that goes.
That's crazy. And what's your thoughts on where hip hop is right now in terms of there's a lot of artists out there. What are you listening to right now?
I'm listening to a lot of the younger cats like McConan and
You
Keys.
Always stay up on it.
Yeah. I like the young dudes like the underground, and I stay around the youth. Like my little sister is 20 or 21. And she always be plugging me with, the new music, whether it's hip hop or whether it's like EDM or whatever. And so I listen to who's new and who's hot. And I really like the state of music because it's in that do-it-yourself phase to the point where there's artists with deals and singles and connections. and they still can't, do those numbers and excite those people because they're really not out here like that.
Yeah.
So you got to be out here. You got to be doing it for yourself, and you really got to be, making an impression on people to survive in the industry.
Now, I remember when you put out the Cabin Fever mixtape and you had Problem on like 7 records.
Yeah.
And we'd known about Problem for a while, but the rest of the world didn't. They were like, wait, who is this dude?
Right.
Not even signed to like Taylor Gang. Like, you just
Right.
showed love to that. And I mean, you've done that so many times over the course of your career. Why do you do those things? And especially like a lot of artists don't put on people unless they're under them or do that. And you do that, obviously, you've Taylor
Right.
Gang and all that, but you don't just limit it to that.
Right, man. It's just these are people that I'm cool with beyond music. Me and Problem, we've been cool since before I was even a name out here.
Yeah, before the Warner days.
Right. He took me under his wing.
That's right.
Yeah, so I was I'm still under Problem's wing, but I'm just like the little homie out here shining.
Shout out to Problem.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Now, what do you think about the West Coast hip hop right now? You moved out here.
Yeah, definitely. I love the West Coast hip hop, the scene. I just think it's making the contribution that it needs to, because a lot of people are just used to like the gangster rap or something that they can't really vibe with. But now that the sound has changed, you go across the country and you hear all the West Coast sound, and people are way more just adapting to it.
Yeah, man. Now your career has evolved so much. You came from street mixtape rapper. I remember coming to one of your shows. I think it was down the street at the Music Box, and I remember just the energy of when you walked out. And this is before it was mainstream, but you always had that hardcore fan base love. And now you're turning into, I hate saying this, you get the comparison, but to Snoop, in terms of, there's a lot of similarities in what you guys do in your recreational use, but in terms of how your career is becoming more than just music, like you're becoming that. Like, I guess you're on that path. How is that all like intentional? Did you want to kind of do more of the music, or are you just kind of along for the ride?
It feels amazing for even people to look at it that way or consider it that way. And I just take it as, Snoop put in a lot of work. B.Real put in a lot of work, just to make this whole culture what it is as far as hip hop. And I'm just carrying on the baton and kind of making it bigger and better, but not than they ever could, but just a little bit faster because they paved the way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? These were all dirt roads before, but now we got like interstates and highways, and I'm just driving, in a Porsche, doing what I'm supposed to be doing on the roads that they paved. And at the end of the day, always showing respect and doing what I can to just further the message and never step on what's already been started.
Yeah, that's real talk. Now, what is next for you in your career that you haven't done? You've got let's talk like endorsements. You've got like the Converse thing.
Yeah,
Stuff. Congratulations. That makes
thing.
so much sense.
Yep.
That's an example of branding gone right. You see so many brands do it wrong, but it's like, hey, it makes
totally. And this is it was a good opportunity for me because they never done anything like that with a musician. Period.
Wow.
Especially a urban artist.
It's tough in hip hop
with tattoos on his face, with marijuana on his campaign. They really rock with me. Also Zoomies and Neff.
Yeah.
Our collab with them has been going crazy.
Shout out to Sean Neff.
Yeah, shout out to Sean Neff. And that was something that, we worked closely on. It wasn't just like, oh yeah, Taylor Gang, Neff, whatever. No, we really sat down. I went to his house. We had meetings on the styling and branding and and it came off correctly. G-Pen, Raw. I just dropped my my collab with Raw, so I got like Wiz papers with Raw, which only makes sense because we kind of turned the world away.
Hold on, our fans in the studio are going crazy holding up all the stuff that you had. They've been like jumping up and down the whole time.
Holding up Raw trays like little Ninja Turtles out there.
Speaking of Ninja Turtles, I wanted to ask you this because last time I saw you, I found out that you were a Ninja Turtles fan, dude, and we brought out Ninja Turtle on stage and a little joint with one, and now I see you on the Ninja Turtle soundtrack.
I could say y'all made that happen.
Did we make that happen?
I think so.
Wait, so how did that come about? Because I want to know the detailed story. Because I saw that, I was like, wait, that's not because of us, is it?
It is. They was like, well, we heard you're a really big fan of the franchise. I'm like, what?
Dude, we got so much trouble with the network.
For real?
It's all good. I love it. I don't care. We always push the boundaries. That means we're doing something right.
Exactly. This rock and roll. It was music.
Because
attitude behind
dude,
it.
like we don't have the licenses, and he's smoking weed, and we're gonna get like
whatever.
Oh, well. and now look what happened, right?
Exactly.
It all came out to be. So let's talk about that. What was that experience like? Ninja Turtles. That's what I grew up like.
Right. Well, it was super tight because as soon as I heard about the movie, I was excited. And I didn't know that they were going to be moving as fast. So, like, by July or something like that, they were like, yeah, we got the movie done, and we need you to write the song right now. And I was like, well, how am I supposed to do that? And then they just was like, pushed me in a chair, made me watch the movie, gave me a list of words, was like, write it. And then Ty actually had his verse first. And I love Ty's verse on there. I think he absolutely killed it.
Ty kills everything.
Yeah, man. So I was like, oh, wow, this is like, I got to go hard now.
Yeah, man. Now, speaking of Ty, here's another guy that's been around in the scene for a minute, really putting in work. You put him on Taylor Gang, and now, blowing up. But another guy that you kind of put on early. What made you want to bring him on under the Taylor Gang umbrella?
His energy, his creativity. I only look at people for what they truly are, and he is a real creator.
Yeah.
He does everything.
And the coolest dude.
Yeah, he's cool as heck, and he's really open, and he's just willing to not only learn but share the knowledge that he has about what, is going on. And those are great people to work with and to keep beside you, and to also just have a career alongside of.
He's got records. Is he gonna be like the new? I mean, I hate to say it, but I guess he's like the new Hook, like
R. Kelly,
Akon, Kelly, yeah.
R. Kelly, I compare him to R. Kelly.
That's a great comparison.
Yeah.
Not a bad guy, too.
Yeah, I mean, not as far as that goes. He's not gonna pee on you.
In terms of hits,
he'll pee on your track though.
Wow, Ty Dolla $ign now. So what's the plan with him, man? When are we gonna see Ty's next project?
He's dropping another EP. Well, it's like a mixtape. It's called Sign Language. As soon as we get off tour, he's gonna drop that.
Dude, so if you go to the clubs, people might not realize the impact he has, but for anybody that goes out, like every record, it seems like he's on, everything is a hit. Mm-hmm. And you identify what made you, because he was one of those guys, again, we were just talking about it, that was been around in the industry, but what made you say, all right, let's do this together? Because you put on other people and all that. What made you actually want to do it for? What makes you decide, all right, let's do this Taylor Gang thing and make it official in that way?
It takes like me working with people. And when I worked with Ty, I figured out that we were the exact same type of person. Whereas people might see us, but they don't really see us for who we are and exactly what we do. And it's just, what Snoop has done for me is like kind of using your light and your influence to guide other people to where they're supposed to have their attention at. And Ty is so talented and so positive, and he has so much to offer. So if you're looking at me, I'm going to be like, hey, look over there. You know what I mean? That's my boy. So we kind of like, we help each other out.
Now, speaking of Snoop, I heard there's another project, you guys, another film in the works.
Absolutely, yeah. We're working on Mac and Devin Part 2.
It's going to be crazy.
And another soundtrack for that. So hopefully we get another Young, Wild, and Free off of there.
That was like, you guys just kind of put that out without any real push, and that just took on the world. Do you enjoy the acting thing?
I do. I really do. I can't wait to get back on set.
How much does it differ? Like, because you're an artist, obviously, with the music. How different is your artistry when you're an actor? What are like the differences between that for you?
It's totally different. Because when you're in the studio, you got to be free, and you move on your own clock. And when you're on the set, it's kind of like, you're moving at other people's pace, and you really have to be on point for what you're there for. Yeah. And you're not making it up as you go.
Yeah, and people don't realize, like, it's not just you. You can be late to the studio because whatever, you might get a little studio overage. But if you're late to a film, like, Hollywood doesn't play. They'll cut you off. Yeah, like, that's a lot of money that they have to pay for overtime.
Right. It's very punctual.
And acting's tough. Like, I can't do that. Like,
yeah, it takes practice. Like,
how do you do that?
I don't necessarily have to practice at rap. Like, acting, you got practice.
How do you get ready for your roles? I mean, luckily you've played characters similar to, that you can relate to so far. But
I kind of just study the lines, try to get in the mind frame of whoever I'm playing or whatever if I'm trying out for something. Yeah. And I don't, just taking the tips from whoever I learned from is like, don't be what you think people want you to be. Just be yourself, and then just kind of bring that to the table.
That's real. Now let's get back to Blacc Hollywood. So, favorite song on the album? I know it probably changes, but today, what's your favorite?
You're absolutely right. This week, my favorite song is still "House on the Hills."
Great record.
Yeah, with Currency.
Now, when did you record this whole project over? I know you were talking about it the last time we connected, I think, into last year, like November or something. When did this whole project really, the bulk of it get done? And where at? Did you do it all out here in L.A.?
Yeah, the bulk of it got done in L.A., and it got done between, like, March and June. I had, like, a couple songs from before that I really had to bring back to the table and just make them better. And then, by that time, March, June, by March, I was like, this is exactly what the album needs to be. Yeah. And this is what's going to happen. You know?
Yeah, man. Now, what's next for you musically? Is there like a direction or a project or an album that you want to make that you haven't done in terms of style or sound? Obviously, not like names or anything, but is there like a direction you want to go, or do you kind of do you know what you're doing next now that Blacc Hollywood's out?
I don't know what I'm doing next. I'm really, really into the Blacc Hollywood mode of just trying to be, the biggest, that in between, big hits, anthem music, and that's still that down to earth like mixtape around the way guy, because people love that dude.
Seriously, how do you keep that balance? Because you always hear the criticism like, man, Wiz isn't the same as when he got the first mixtape.
It is difficult because for me.
Do you try to appease people within that? Do you like hear and like it's tough hearing feedback about that, or do you like block it out and like, no, I'm just gonna do me, or is it?
Nah. I definitely listen to it because I understand what it means. Because at the end of the day, I do get a little bit carried away sometimes talking about like what's real to me right then and there, because my life is crazy. Yeah. My life is real, and sometimes people don't want to hear all that. Like they want to hear, they want to hear what inspires them, and they want to hear what makes them comfortable. And I know how to get into that zone as well. So sometimes I have to be like, all right, this isn't necessarily so much for me and what I feel like saying right now, but it's more for what people want and what they deserve from me as well. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like being less selfish and really, really listening to kids. And I'll tell you, on Blacc Hollywood, there's certain moments where kids will come up to me and be like, yo, on this plane, I was working this job and it helped me get through it so far. You know what I mean? And I'm like, dang, I have a responsibility to keep writing songs just like that. It doesn't have to sound like this plane, but it has to have that for that person.
Now, how do you deal with it in the situations? Obviously, we know about like Ferguson and stuff, and stepping up. And when do you feel like is the right time to state your opinion and your voice? And like, how do you like figure out what's personal and what's Wiz Khalifa when you're like it's time to come in and say something?
I just feel like whatever's real, when it's real, and you just take the opportunity right then and there. Sometimes you could premeditate it, and it won't work out how you want to. Yeah. And then sometimes you won't even think about it, and then it'll lay right in your lap.
That's true.
So I feel like when situations are real, they kind of work themselves out. And as entertainers and whatever we are, we have a platform, you know. So whatever your true opinion is, that's what you get across.
And now you had a bunch of fans come out here today, and your fan base is ridiculous. If you log on to Skee TV, you'll be able to see it. But we have a whole in-store or a whole in-studio thing we gave out to a bunch of different listeners and a bunch of different people on MySpace. So what do you have to say to your fans? You want to, they are... They're holding up signed shirts, going crazy.
That's nice.
How does it feel to have like that passionate of a fan of a fan base?
It feels good, man. It feels awesome to know that people connect with the music and with the message, and they know it's real.
Yeah. How do you like utilize Twitter and stuff to communicate? Because you can't respond to everybody. If somebody wants to get a response from Wiz, what's the best strategy?
Keep trying,
and it'll all come together. Always, that's what they're yelling. Just shout to all the fans for coming in. Shout to everybody for coming up here. Shout to Amber Bash, and of course Wiz for almost breaking in our mic before your son did it up here on the brand new Dash Radio. I appreciate you.
Wild Bash kiss, man.
Taking the time out.
It's golden now.
Rocking with us all night long up here on Dash Radio. We appreciate the love and whatever you need. We're always here, and I'm glad that Ninja Turtle thing randomly happened.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you. I appreciate the love. I appreciate you always showing my artist love too.
Come on, man.
Because every time I turn around,
we got
somebody
up
from
here.
Gang is like, yo, I'm going to Skee. I'm like, that's my boy, man.
That's how we do it. Whatever you need. I mean,
appreciate it, man.
Again, support and give me. It's all family. We've known all these guys for forever.
But it's real, though. It's real.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Wiz Khalifa, Dash Radio, Blacc Hollywood out now. We'll see y'all next time. We out of here.
Radio today sucks. So what do we do about it? All of a sudden, new options started popping up. We had satellite radio, which had a little bit more on-air freedom and slightly less repetitive, but can cost over $20 a month. I mean, that's like 20 McChicken sandwiches or 8 macchiatos.
500 feet into the sky, and it's a terrific crash, ladies and gentlemen. All the humanity and all the fans.